Hey up, it's Steve from that old Yorkshire geek. A bit of Lord of the Rings news. Amazon's Lord of the Rings of Power, has failed miserably. But we all said it would, didn't we? We all knew that were coming. This is from Bounding Into Comics. Here we go. So as I always say, it's likely to be a bit spicy. Links in the description. Don't forget, like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell. It would be hugely appreciated. I'm also on Rumble and Anchor.fm and Spotify and Amazon Music Podcasts and Google Podcasts, so you can check out my wares on there. The Amazon and Google are just audio. I think Anchor.fm and Spotify, I think they have the video on. I'm also on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Links for all that's in the description, as are the links for my 2 books. I've got to keep plugging them. I'm sorry, but I have. Mercury Rapids, light-hearted sci-fi, action-adventure, and Silent Predator, a horror novella about big cats eating people in North Yorkshire. It's all a bit of fun, that's what I say, don't I? Right, Lord of the Rings of Power fails to break into top 15 streaming programmes of 2022, most streamed Prime Video series. By the way, in the background, this is allegedly landscape from Lord of the Rings. If you say so, I don't know, it's probably just New Zealand. Lord of the Rings of Power might have had a strong start for Prime Video, but recently released yearly numbers from Nielsen, not from Amazon, from Nielsen, show the series failed to break into the top 15 streaming programmes of 2022, and it wasn't even the most watched Prime Video series. If you recall, Amazon and Prime Video touted the show's premiere attracted more than 25 million global viewers on its first day, breaking all previous records, marking the biggest premiere in the history of Prime Video. Amazon Studios head Jennifer Solke, I am Galadriel Solke, we'll see a picture of in a minute. It is somehow fitting that Tolkien's stories, among the most popular of all time and what many consider to be the true origin of the fantasy genre, have led us to this proud moment. Except you haven't used Tolkien stories, you've just made up your own with Tolkien's characters. She added, I am so grateful to the Tolkien estate, I'm sure you are, and to our showrunners J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay, executive producer Lindsay Webber, cast and crew, by the way, I'm not going to say it, for their tireless collaborative efforts and boundless creative energy. I was going to say something derogatory about J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay, but I won't. I'll get into trouble. And it is the tens of millions of fans watching, clearly as passionate about Middle-earth as we are, who are our true measure of success. So we're going to find out now what their true measure of success is. And there she is, Galadriel. Don't know who that is. Vernon Sanders, head of Global TV of Amazon Studios. That's who that is. However, as anyone who followed our coverage, Bounding Into Comics, regarding Nielsen's weekly release of viewership data, it was quickly apparent that a lot of people might have tuned in initially, but as quick as they tuned in, they checked out. I stuck for it. I stuck with it all the way through. And I didn't hate it, but it just wasn't very good. I was just, well, you know, it was there. It was a 5 out of 10. It was just average. But I can understand why, Tolkienistas, is that a word? I don't know. Why people who are into Tolkien, Tolkien lore, hated it. I can understand why. Not only did Nielsen's weekly figures indicate this, but Nielsen's newly released annual figures for 2022 appear to confirm it as well. I should do vocal exercises, shouldn't I, really? Teeth and lips and the tip of my tongue. I said, I can't really tip on my tongue because I've got a stupid tongue, haven't I? Anyway, enough of my medical problems. In a blog post published in January, Nielsen revealed charts for the top 15 streaming programmes of 2022, the top 15 original streaming programmes of 2022, the top 15 acquired streaming programmes of 2022, and the top 15 streaming movies of 2022. Prime Video's The Lord of the Rings of Power did not chart on Nielsen's top 15 streaming programmes of 2022, which tracks audience viewership in the United States via minutes watched. And I'm sure there'll be some that'd say, well, outside the United States it's very, very different. There's more people watching outside of the USA than there are watching in the USA. That's what they'll say. But we're talking about the USA, which is the world's largest entertainment market, isn't it? As you can see below, The Rings of Power was beat by a bevy of Netflix original programme, including Stranger Things, Cobra Kai, Bridgerton, Dharma, The Umbrella Academy, and The Crown, among others. It was even beat by reruns of NCIS, Grey's Anatomy, Criminal Minds, Heartland, Supernatural, and others that Netflix licensed from their respective rights holders. And here we are, can you see that? So 2022, top 15 streaming programmes overall. So number one is Stranger Things, 52 billion minutes viewed. By the way, it's pretty much a Netflix, everything, isn't it? That just shows Netflix is still the big boy in the streaming market. NCIS is on various. I don't watch it. But then it's Netflix, Disney, Netflix, various, Disney, Netflix. Not a single Prime one in the top 15 overall streaming programs. So it's not in there. No Prime Video shows are in there, unless it's counted amongst the various. I don't know. Right, not only did The Rings of Power not show up on the 2022 top 15 streaming programmes overall from Nielsen, but it only managed to make the 15th spot for Nielsen's top 20 for Nielsen's 2022 top 15 streaming programmes originals. It was beat by the likes of Netflix's Stranger Things, Ozark, Wednesday. Oh, we've got an advert. Typical. Hey. GoldenEye. Wednesday, Cobra Kai. Just ignore it. Cobra Kai might go away. It's not gonna, is it? Stupid thing. Skip ads. Unbelievable. Where were we? Cobra Kai, Bridgerton, Virgin River, Dharma, Love is Blind, Inventing Anna, The Crown, Great British Baking Show, The Umbrella Academy, and The Last Kingdom. A lot of these I've never even heard of, to be honest. And they're the top ones. I've never heard of them. That Virgin River, never heard of that. Never heard of Love is Blind. Never heard of Inventing Anna. What the hell's the Great British Baking Show? Is that Bake Off? Just give it another name. I have no idea. Anyway, but maybe the most interesting figure from this chart is that The Lord of the Rings of Power, wasn't even the best performing Prime Video series. That honour belongs to The Boys, which posted over 1 billion more minutes watched than The Rings of Power. Can you see that? Scroll. There you go. So there you go. The Boys at number 11 with 24 episodes, 10.6 billion minutes viewed. And they're down at the bottom. Rings of Power. Remember, this is for original programming. Down at 15, Rings of Power with just 8 episodes with 9.4 billion minutes viewed. A report from Business Insider last year indicated that if the show wasn't the highest performing show from Amazon, it would be a failure. An anonymous insider told the outlet as such. This insider added the caveat, but the outside world may not ever know. But we do, because we're talking about it now. One didn't need to see these viewership numbers from Nielsen to determine if the show was a failure. One needed to really only watch the first episode to see how much the show maligned Tolkien's work, which it kind of did. What these numbers do, I mean, Galadriel, she's the worst, she's the main character, she's the worst character in the series. What these numbers do is act as a confirmation that mass audiences are not interested in the novel that J.R.R. Tolkien never wrote, by showrunners J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay. That's how they described it, didn't they? We're doing the novel that Tolkien never wrote. ego much. Audiences don't want something different but familiar. When they made the rings, and that's where they made the rings, isn't it? And they ended up looking like something you get out of a lucky bag, you know, or as Americans would say, a crackerjack box. What do you make of the fact that Lord of the Rings didn't chart? That's it. It's I'm not surprised, to be honest. I'm not surprised in the least. As I said, there you go. In the overall chart, not even in the top 15, but Netflix dominates anyway. Netflix and Disney, they're the two dominant markets out there in the streaming war. And I'm surprised, actually, because you'd have thought there'd have been at least one or two Prime Video ones in there, because, you know, Amazon, it's a $1 trillion company, isn't it? Got a lot of money behind it, and it's got a lot. Technically, it's got a lot of Prime Video members, because you sign up for Prime, Amazon Prime, you know, for the free postage and stuff like that, and you automatically become a Prime Video member, don't you? So you'd have thought it'd been in there somewhere. Maybe that just shows the quality of what they've got, because, to be honest, although I do watch a lot of Prime Video, the quality of the service isn't quite what like Netflix and Disney is. They're like orders of magnitude better than Prime. Although, you know, it's okay, it's Prime, but its subtitling is diabolical. I don't know how they've done it. People haven't gone in there and sat and typed the subtitles. It's like subtitles you see on the news, you know, on a live news broadcast where it's getting words wrong and stuff like that. That's Amazon Prime subtitling. And also, a lot of the time, you can put a Prime Video on, you know, HD or a UHD, you know. In their defence, they do have a lot of 4K stuff on, but could take like up to a minute. In my case, I haven't got a crappy internet connection by any means, but it can take, you know, quite some time for it to get you know, HD quality. You're watching a bit of blocky video before it sharpens up. But anyway, it's enough moaning about Amazon. But they do have a lot more stuff on there than the other streamers, because you can buy things on Amazon, things that'll never appear on like Netflix or, you know, Paramount or the other places. You know, you can usually find things that are not available, and if you really want it, you can buy it. Yeah, you don't mean you own it; you're just buying it so you can watch it. That doesn't guarantee it'll disappear. But I think you'd get a refund if they did remove it from the service. But anyway, we're talking about the Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power being an abject failure. So what they're going to do for season 2, they're going to double down, aren't they? That's what they're going to do. There's all these people not watching it. It's a failure. In their own words, it's a failure. If it's not the best, not the most successful thing Prime Video has ever done, it's a failure. The figures show that it's not the best thing, you know, the highest viewing figures. So it's a failure. So what they're going to do, they're going to double down on the woke. They get all female directors in. If they're the best directors that were available, fair enough. I've nothing bad to say about that. But the way it was worded in the press release is it was done to tick boxes. Look at us, we're hiring all female directors, aren't we progressive? Rather than they're the best people for the job. Maybe they were, and we will see. We will see what happens. Because the best episodes of The Mandalorian have been directed by women. They have. They have, for the most part. Bryce Dallas Howard and the other one that directed Obi-Wan Kenobi, which were terrible, but her episodes of The Mandalorian were pretty good. But I can't remember her name. Anyway, it's enough of that. Enough of me waffling on. Are we still on adverts? Adverts again, look. I should have picked a different background, shouldn't I? I should have picked a different one. Go away. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hang on, let's get rid of that. Thanks for watching. Are we still on another advert? I've seen that one before. I'm sure I've seen them sheep, goats, whatever they are. Thanks for watching. Wherever you are in the universe, look after each other. And until next time, I'll say they. If I do another Lord of the Rings one, I'll pick a different bloody background.